Today we'll look at creating our first basic assembly. With an assembly you need individual parts, and we're going to put these together. And in this case, with this assembly cube puzzle, we want these all to stick together. We don't want to have motion or hinging action, and that is done with the mate references. So first off, we need parts in order to assemble these. If they're open, they are in a drop-down menu. If not, we can browse for them. Another, I would say, good practice when creating an assembly is to change your working units to whatever you designed your parts in. Now, this might not always match, but if you try to add more advanced mate references later, you're going to have to stop and change it anyway. So it'd probably be a good idea to set that ahead of time. So what we want to do is we want to start a new assembly. The overall layout on the screen doesn't look much different. Yes, we do have some different tabs and toolbars. But initially it's asking me to insert my first part. So if they're open, they're in the drop-down menu here in the Property Manager. If they're not already open, you can go and browse and then choose them and drag and drop them in. I would prefer to start with the red part here, so I'm just going to click it and I'm going to bring it onto the screen. If you want to rotate a part initially, it does make assembly go much smoother if the orientation is correct instead of trying to move it or do a flip mate reference. If you right click, you can rotate in 90-degree increments based on the X, Y, and Z axis. You do have the triad here in the bottom left-hand corner for reference. This one, rotation is not going to matter, but I'll rotate it a couple times just so you can see the change that it makes. And I just rotated there on the Z axis. So your first part in is set. It's what's known as being fixed. You can unfix it, but that is typically not the method you want to start off with. So everything that attaches to this will be the anchor for it. So now I want to insert another component. Go up here to Insert Component. If they're open, you can drag and drop them. And I want to start rotating this one. So I'm going to right click. That is a rotation that I want to make. And now I want to go on the Y axis. That's the rotation that I want. It's going to fit right in here. To start off, I'd recommend doing one part at a time instead of trying to manage all the parts on the screen at once. What we want to do is we want to form what's known as a mate reference, this paperclip looking icon. If I select on the object, I will also get mate reference in the flyout menu. What we're going to work with just today is what's known as coincident mates, or in this video. You can do this three ways, and probably you're picking a surface or a face is probably the better bet, because there are some inherent problems if you pick an edge or a vertex, and I hope to demonstrate them. But in all cases, without adding the lock, if we lock it, we don't have any, we gotta undo it to change it later on. I would use individual faces, vertices, or edges. But here are the problems with the vertices. Yes, this vertex right here does line up with this vertex right here. No, it doesn't. Let's undo that one. It lines up with this vertex. Everything looks fine until I go to, I don't want to say break it apart or move it. It's hinging on that point. It's a pivot point. So there are some ways around this. I can add another mate reference. But now essentially I've made an edge mate or an edge reference. So it's just going to hinge this way. And yes, I could add another vertex. I could lock, let's say, these two together. So in that process, everything did work out in the end. It's locked together, it's not moving. So that is using the vertex. Let's take those mate references off. Okay, they're not connected. In using an edge, if I select these two edges, okay, everything seems okay, but I still have that hinging action, and plus I can move it on the third axis as well. I can come in, I can add more edge references, but in this case, well, that did lock it in. Yeah, those two would work. So yes, you can do an edge. You can combine an edge and a vertice. But I think to start, in terms of an assembly, is to pick faces. I want this face and let's say this face to line up. I can still move on the two other axes. I just need to pick a couple more faces. This face and this face line up. And let's say this face and this face line up. Some combination of three faces should get these parts to interlock. And we'll go on to the next part. So we'll insert a new component. Fine, let's say the green one. I want to rotate this one on the z-axis again and again. That should be the orientation. And I'm going to add some mate references here. Again, I'm going to use the faces. I think there are too many problems with the vertices and edges, because we do want to lock this thing together in the end. So we'll continue adding our pieces here. We'll insert a new component. Let's go with the blue one next. And this one's going to fit right across here, I believe. Yes. All right, so we'll rotate this one. That should be the rotation I'm looking for. And we'll come back in here and we'll add some mate references. And we'll do top to top. I'd say so far so good. All the parts are locked in. I can't separate them. To check that, try to click and drag it. If it moves or hinges, it's not locked in. And we'll do the last one here. And we need to rotate this. Let's go back on the z-axis. That looks like the orientation that I'm looking for. And we'll put this thing into place. Line them up. And lock it in. Okay. So at this point, I believe we have all of them locked in, and just double checking to confirm that we do. And we want to see if there are any interferences. If any of this material is overlapping, one of the benefits to 3D modeling software is to see if everything's going to hopefully work out before you produce this. In the Evaluate toolbar, you'll find interference detection. This is a tool that you can add to your heads-up display. I've already made a tutorial video on how to modify your heads-up display and other toolbars. So this entire assembly, I want to calculate, and I will get interferences. If I have any, they'll show up in red, and you don't want any. I got an audio cue, and I also have the point that there is no interferences. Can I show an interference? I think I can. So I just took a mate reference off, and I'm going to purposely overlap these two components. So I should get an interference this time. Actually, probably multiple interferences. Nope, just one big surface interference. So in this case, I realize something is wrong. Oh, I can move this part. All right, come back and put the mate on, check your interference, and confirm that everything works out. Not insert component. All good.